of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend. Hello everyone. Happy almost show of the weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we're the right way round now, Ellen.
I know.
Yeah, we're.
Hi, Luke.
Hang on. Which way do I look? This way. Hi. Good to see you, Ellen.
Hey.
This is weird because I can actually just see my reflection if I look this way in like a shiny piece of glass. So I really look like I've properly got like the quarantine.
Yeah.
Like I've fully lost it. Hey, Ellen. We can show the weekend right here. Just me and you. Yeah, exactly. Hello in the chat. Hi, it's lovely to see everyone checking in. Shall I explain, Ellen? Would you like to know what's going to happen on today's show?
I would love to know what's going on.
Oh, I bet you would.
Just in general.
I bet. Well, it's we got another jam-packed show for you, folks. So we're going to talk about the Final Fantasy-7 Remake, which you have to say like that, remake. Then I'm going to give you a little quiz, Ellen, which is going to be very enjoyable for me and the viewers, and for you as well, I'm sure. And then, as an extra special bonus, we've got an unboxing video courtesy of Mike. I was accidentally played a tiny bit of it at the beginning of the stream. Look, his little teaser. There's Mike's hands, everyone. There they are. There they are. That's right. You will see Mike's hands, and he's going to be unboxing the collector's edition of FF7 Remake.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. It's beautiful in a way. So that's the show basically.
And hi to producer John in the chat.
Producer John in the chat.
Who's chatting to you all.
I can see him chatting away.
Yeah.
John, if you could try not to be as engaging and likeable as we are.
Yeah. Because
that would be great. Because we want people looking at the big picture. Because this whole
or like these two smaller pictures.
These smaller pictures, yeah, that's right. I didn't make that rotating background so that John could pull focus in the chat. Darth Vader says, greetings from your colonial friend from Chicago.
Hello.
And Rob C says, I just created my Animal Crossing Island Cove id 19 that I can finally play.
Oh.
And I can finally play with streams in the background. My first console in 5 years, thanks to you guys. Wow. And Rob C's avatar is an angry little Tom Nook. So there you go. And Angel Beat says, hi, how's it going? How is it going, Ellen? How are you doing? You just do my amateur therapist hands while you answer the question.
Yeah, I'm alright. I've not been outside in a month, at least.
I see.
So, I did stand by our garden door though, at one point, which was nice. When the sun came round, so I've had actual sun touch my skin, which is nice.
Yeah. And how did that make you feel? Warm,
it made
presumably.
Me feel, warm.
Good.
And alive.
Good.
And...
Okay. Well.
But good. I've mainly been playing a lot of Animal Crossing and Minecraft because playing in pretend worlds where I can pretend to be outside is at least something.
I love Animal Crossing so much for exactly that reason. It's just a perfect simulation of going outside and running around and like talking to people.
Interaction.
It is I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were saying on this podcast that Animal Crossing maybe is the most important game launch in history. Just like for the particular time that it arrives at. Like it will never be a more socially significant, like, you know, obviously other games are more sort of groundbreaking in terms of game design and stuff, but you're never going to get one
more influential and all that jazz. But in terms of needing something to play when you're stuck inside and just having that little bit, like I wish there was a little bit more to do multiplayer wise.
Yeah.
But sometimes It's really nice. Like the other day, I just went round to some friends of the channel, Insert Coin. Went round to one of their houses, their islands, and then also Bendix, who does our D&D art. We just had a chat and wandered around each other's islands and gone, look, this is what I've done. And it's so good.
I know.
It's so good.
It's so nice. And just like, we've already read a comment from someone saying that, this is the first console that they've bought in 5 years. I feel like a lot of people are buying Switches for Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing,
yeah. People who don't normally play a lot of games, people who don't own a Switch.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I should be taking commissions from Nintendo, because anytime anyone's like, so what would you recommend for people who've never really played games? And I'm like, Nintendo Switch, because it's so versatile and there are very accessible games on it in terms of it, like, you've got your Dark Souls and stuff on there, but in terms of like introducing someone to buttons and what things do and all that sort of stuff, it's a nice, easy way to get into those games. There's a racing game on there. There's some platformy games on there. There's puzzle games on there.
Yeah.
And it's all very like, oh, I know these characters because they're as famous as Disney characters, pretty much. I know Mario. And
he's like a Mickey, but with, I was gonna say, but with a different outfit. But it's kind of the same. What's Mickey wearing? Does Mickey have
shorts?
Does Mickey have?
He has short and sometimes has braces.
Okay, so he's basically wearing kind of overalls like Mario. He's also wearing
overalls,
dungarees.
But they cut off at the waist.
Well, I mean, I think like Switch sales would have to dip pretty low. Yeah.
Because they're chipmunks.
Maybe eventually Nintendo will make the game where Mario isn't wearing trousers. But we're not there yet as a society. One day, I hope, we'll get there. But look, all we've done so far is talk about Animal Crossing. We're supposed to be talking about PlayStations and Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
That big game that everyone really likes.
Yeah. Well, guess who has 2 thumbs and completed it? This guy. No, put those thumbs down. The answer was me. No, put them down. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this guy. Yeah. So I finished it. It's a long old game, as you would expect from a Final Fantasy game, but it's weird because obviously it's not the entire original game remade. They're sort of doing it in stages. So even though it is a very long game, also these are unusual times, and so I have a lot more time for playing Final Fantasy VII Remake than I otherwise would have. I finished it in 36.5 hours, and I didn't do every single side quest, but there was only one side quest that I saw and ignored because it was stupid and boring and involved a sad child or something. But by this point, you've done a lot of side quests involving sad children. All the children.
Right. So, everyone's sad.
I'm like, look, we're all having a hard time, little girl.
I'm sad too.
Yeah.
Put me, the adult, in the situation.
Yeah. My feelings are more valid because...
Yeah, please validate my emotions.
Yeah. You do a side quest for me. You go and get me all of the ingredients for a sandwich and then make it. But that's not an option, unfortunately. So yeah, obviously, this will be a spoiler-free chat.
Yes.
But yeah, so I didn't play Final Fantasy VII, the original, and I've never played... Well, I suppose I have now, but before that, I'd never played a Final Fantasy game at all.
I played a bit of 10. I played like a dozen or so hours of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't... I was like, it was one of those things where I was like, no, I'll give it time. Maybe I'll like it eventually. And it just never hooked me. It never hooked me.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is, the only experience I do have with Final Fantasy is that a while ago, not nearly when it came out, but still maybe 10 years ago or something, I did make an effort to play Final Fantasy VII because I knew it was a legendary game, and I got a few hours in, and just the turn-based combat just was such... Yeah, exactly. I was making that exact face.
I like Pokemon, but even in Pokemon, I'm like, turn-based. Someone mentioned, I said in a video that I didn't like turn-based battles, and they were like, Ellen's wearing a Pokemon shirt, and I'm like, yeah, I like that anime.
I'm like, yeah, I like the bits where you.
I like the concept of it.
Yeah.
I just wish that I didn't have to go. Wait, okay, and now that one.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
I think the concept of Pokemon is regularly better than actual Pokemon.
The actual gameplay.
Yeah. But I absolutely loved this game. The 7 remake. I found that the plot was engaging and easy to follow, and the combat is so good. So now, like before, you would have maybe a few static screens to get across, and along the way you would sort of be harangued by these like random encounters and random battles. So the way that it works now is when you are walking around. Hang on, I've got some B-roll that we could be playing here for that. There we go. There we go. So the way it works now is while you're kind of walking from point A to point B, you can see groups of enemies, and you kind of have to fight them all. But they are sort of single encounters, and when they're done, they're done. And you can kind of see enemies on the horizon, so there's not going to be like any like major unpleasant surprises or anything.
That was the other thing in 10. Like, you're just walking around and then suddenly random encounter. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I find more often than not in games with random encounters. You're kind of dreading them, and you're walking, going like, please no, no, and then it happens. You're like, oh, for goodness sake. And it doesn't feel as that rewarding. But the combat in this, I really, really enjoyed. It's got this great sort of plate spinning aspect to it. So while you're in the thick of it, you control one character, and the other people in your party kind of go on AI mode while you're sort of hammering attack. You've basically got 2 attack buttons, like sort of to do different attacks depending on what character you are. And then as you attack, you fill this blue gauge in the bottom right. You can see it on screen now, actually. You fill these little blue. When you fill one of those, you can do an attack or a spell or something, or use an item. You can do something, and until that's full, you can't do anything. So you can get into these very tense situations where like everyone in your party is unconscious except one person, but they can't use a reviving item or a Phoenix down or anything, because the only way to fill that bar is to like do some attacking and defense. So you're like, okay, attack, but you're trying. It's sort of frantic, and it really encourages just keeping an eye on those blue bars, and you're just watching, being like, okay, Barrett's got blue, he can do this, but Tifa's about to have it, so we've got to queue up her whirling uppercut, and And it's not too difficult to get your head around, but it does feel very satisfying, and the boss fights feel great. I played it through on like normal difficulty, and I died a few times, but nothing very frustrating. And I didn't have any situations where I died at the end of a really long boss fight and had to start again, or at least actually that did happen, but it only happened once. So yeah,
once is too often.
Once too often. But yeah, generally, like the combat for me is the reason why I loved it, I have to say, because I just found it so much fun. And the story and the characters are very good, but it's more like you're with them for so many hours that, like, eventually, just through sheer brute force, of course, you love them and cry when bad things happen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like I was sticking with it because it was so satisfying to do the fighting, and the story kind of like eventually won me round. Obviously, it looks unbelievably beautiful. All the environments are gorgeous. In fact, now at the moment you're seeing a little bit of Wall Market, which is a particularly sort of luscious environment, kind of big sort of neon like dive bar town. It's really gorgeous, and especially again when you're fighting and you just go into that slow motion. You're thinking about using items and queuing up spells and stuff, but actually what you want to do is just like watch everything happen in super slow motion, like and yeah, that's really satisfying. And the story is, what I like about the story is that it's quite straightforward. It's that thing where like I knew a lot of the Final Fantasy VII story already from doing this job.
Yes, because we look at it a lot. So, like, I know that it's all about, like, there's the slum area, then there's the rich area.
Yes.
And it's actually, like, a massive thing like being like corporations.
It's about the environment. You're with a gang of sort of plucky eco-terrorists.
It's basically eat the rich, save the planet.
Exactly.
Two of my favourite things.
Yeah, or at least that's how, things begin. It does get like bigger and bigger as you go on, but yeah, it's a weird thing because when we write about Final Fantasy, like when we're writing list features and stuff, I really, really loathe doing a Final Fantasy entry because it means you have to go into the Final Fantasy wiki and just like try and puzzle out like, okay, who's where at this point? Who's this?
Wait, where are we?
Where what? Yeah.
And then we all just turn to Mike and be like,
Mike. Yeah. But when you're playing it, it's so long and there's a lot of plot, but it is unfolding at a normal pace, and so it's completely followable, and it's really good, and it's not too mystical and nonsensical in that sort of way that sometimes like a game like Kingdom Hearts can be. So it's easy. The plot is like we're going here to blow up this, and then we're gonna go escape to here, but we got separated, so now I have to go through the sewers and stuff. So the story is just pleasantly straightforward, and it's pretty fun. It's got like the actual adventure you're on is kind of fun. There's some awkward stuff. There's a little bit of like awkward things that you can tell are in there because they're in the original, like plot beats in the original, but like, and they've sort of made an effort to update it. But there's actually, okay, to be fair, there's only one bit in particular I'm thinking of, which is how to say this in a spoiler-free way, but that will make sense to people who know what I'm talking about the original. Okay, so it involves a character who is auditioning wives, which is about as bad as it sounds. Yep, you're making the correct face. It's about as gross as it sounds. And the game doesn't exactly play it for laughs, but it maybe is a little. I felt it was maybe a little clumsy in the handling of that. It didn't feel quite right. Possibly more so because it is in the same part of the game where my favourite part of the game was. Like, it's kind of in the same plot beat. It's like like my favourite bit and my least favourite bit are kind of in the like they're sort of like
it's more obvious that the bad bit is bad when it's next to something really good.
I think so, and I'm sure people who've played Final Fantasy 7 will have clocked already which bit I'm talking about with my favourite bit. But it's a bit where Cloud has to sneak in somewhere in disguise, let's say.
Oh, I think I've seen pictures of that.
Okay,
I won't say what it is, but I've seen it, and of course that's your favourite bit, Luke. Of course.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and as well, like again, but it is some. I do think that's a bit that could have been handled clumsily and felt awkward and uncool, but for my money at least, I found it really joyful when I was playing that bit. So there you go. Cool. I can't really talk obviously about that. I feel like the big question everyone wants to know about this game is like, is the plot different to the original? Does it deviate? And obviously I can't answer that question in any specific way.
Non-spoilery way. I think there must be a discussion video to be had with you and Mike and
Aoife.
I was in
Eurogamer.
the show of the week live chat, and lots of people were like, get Aoife in on it, and I think that would be a brilliant. I would be interested to hear all of your opinions on it.
Well, I've done a little bit of like offline, like I mean, as soon as the credits were rolling, I was like texting Aoife being like,
have you finished it?
Yeah, well, obviously Aoife had finished it way before me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only thing I can say really is that I think when you have finished it, you'll understand why people who have played it are so eager to talk about it.
Yes. It's a very discussion-y video.
It's very discussion-y.
Yeah.
And I'm so interested to see what Final Fantasy fans make of the ending and make of the direction, because like as someone who hadn't played Final Fantasy 7, I really enjoyed it, but then there were a few things that didn't make sense to me that only made sense when I like talked to Mike or Aoife about like, what's going on here, what's this, and then they told me, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, well, I guess I can see how that would make sense if you had played the original. But then similarly, there are loads of things that are like cut out from the remake that you don't get, that you do get in the original. Not loads of stuff, but some stuff. And that obviously just flew completely over my head because I didn't know what I was missing in some ways. But I enjoyed it so much that when I'd finished, I bought Final Fantasy 15 on the PlayStation Store and downloaded it. And I haven't started that yet because the kind of like the sort of mania of the Final Fantasy mania slightly subsided, and then I had a little bit of buyer's remorse, and then I read some reviews, and I talked to Aoife, and she was like, it goes really off the rails halfway through, and I'm like, halfway into 60 hours, I'm not sure about that. So I don't know if I will actually play that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I thought this was, for a first Final Fantasy game, I think you probably couldn't ask for a much better experience. It's really, really good. I played it with the Japanese voice acting.
I like being able to do that.
Yeah, you have the
very
option.
much like a subs not dubs. But I feel like in video games they do a better job. I think nowadays in general they do a better job of dubbing things. I just remember as a child watching this Sailor Moon dubbed anime and just couldn't.
Well, the English language voice acting is absolutely fine. I thought there was nothing wrong with it at all. I more just switched it over out of curiosity, see what everyone's voice sounded like, and then didn't switch it back because I did like it. And there's just something, I don't know. It just felt like, we have the same preference to always, subs not dubs where possible.
There's something so fantastic about the Japanese language. And just like, instead of hearing what and hearing nani, like it's just that, it's so good. It's such good words in Japanese.
Yes. It's I like great. How often everyone says each other's names as well.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So and it's not always translated. Yeah. So I think that's probably all I have to say on the remake until we can talk in a spoilery way.
Yeah. There is a video on Eurogamer, I believe, that Ethan's done already, talking about the ending. So if you finished it and you're curious, or even if you haven't finished it and you just want to know. So,
yep.
Yeah. I just see everyone in the chat is just going, nani?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I've watched Aoife's video and it completely made sense of some stuff. Obviously, it's immensely spoilerific. So
yes,
but
if you don't want to.
If you've played it, or if you know you're not going to play it, but you want to see why everyone is about to be. Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, exactly. If you want to be in the trenches of the Final Fantasy culture war, if you want to be on the front lines, if you want to know what's going on, there we go. Should we rattle through some? Should we see what's going on in the chat?
Yeah.
The one
Everyone's just going nanny.
Okay, well I've not scrolled down that far yet.
Amazing.
The one who snacks says, I feel that Luke, regarding the free time with time-intense games, due to Corona, we have 3 days of the week: yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Yeah, that's kind of how it feels. Jack Solomon says, hey again guys, thanks for all you've been doing. Don't know how I would have gotten through the past few weeks without you. Hope to meet you all when it's over. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
People talk about which is the best Final Fantasy. Craig Banks says Final Fantasy 6 was the best one. Fight me.
Jane's favourite is 8.
Yeah, Jane's favourite is 8. Maybe that's the kind of like hipster choice, because it was like so close to 7. It's like you're still playing 7. 8 is the new jazz. Welcome new member Jeff Sikowski. And Presummate George says, thanks for all your streams, keeping us sane in these weird times, and for convincing me to buy a Switch and Breath of the Wild and Animal Crossing New Horizons. Stay safe. Tyc says Sand, and Richie Soot says Souls for being late. That's okay, Richie.
That's fine.
You don't have to apologise for being late.
This isn't school.
Yeah.
Although we will be testing you all on it at the end.
Yeah, there will be What were the first 3 words said on the stream? Only real fans know. Tyc says which I think is the comment that came after sand. So it's like sand, which. I think those are the component parts of a sandwich.
Yeah.
From earlier. Oh, here we go. Tom Titherington says, random question, Ellen, can you actually play the trumpet?
Yeah. Well, I did. I got a grade 3 at school. I can do a demonstration, maybe. Shall I? Luke's doing the face.
This is a face that says I'm not going to say no to a trumpet demonstration.
Okay.
All right. You go.
Okay.
Are you trying to figure out if you can go without knocking everything over, all of the wires and delicate stuff around you?
But I think I can. It's like just here. I've also got to do a little bit of warming up. I'll show you my warm up.
Okay. I'll read some chat while you warm up. Lokesh S says Luke, Tifa or Aerith? Aerith. I thought I didn't know I would be such a huge Aerith fan going into this game, but yeah, I'm all yeah. It's a.
So you got warm up. So you got the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Which is a different size.
Yeah.
For trumpets. Mine is a 5C.
Yeah.
This is my trumpet.
There it is.
There it is.
Lovely embouchure. Hey, there we go. Hooray! Excellent. Well done, Ellen.
Little scale there for you.
Timu Fulkanen says, would you have preferred Final Fantasy VII Remake to be a single release title rather than episodic, or do you think episodes will make it better? I would have preferred the full game. I wasn't ready to stop, and I don't know when the next one is coming out, and it's going to be years away. I think also because I wasn't really looking forward to it, so I didn't care when it came out. You know, like I wasn't like, I could have done with another, I could have waited another 5 years or whatever. I don't care. I had no skin in the game. So yeah, there you go. I would have rather it wasn't episodic, but there you go. Dave McKay says, sincere thanks for all the streams and positive vibes. Gone a long way to help make my days working from home bearable. P.S. Always be a dob. Yeah. Very much agree. Gentleman Drill says, hope you're doing well. Working on a Detective Luke storyboard for a comic I got inspired from yesterday's stream. Always nice to see you two together. Thanks for the streams and videos. You're amazing. Thanks very much. Oh, wow. Yeah. Cool. Kenjita says, trumpet, please. Well, Kenjita, your wish has been so granted. Welcome new member Archer Ramon. The Lone Sniper Pro says, hello from Tennessee, hope you're doing well. I used this time to finally play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and while I was looking at the map, the music switched, and I was immediately like, it's Ezio's theme! Yay! Ezio, Ezio. I know that's not how it goes, but... Ezio, Ezio, his family's dead, Ezio, get the feathers... Ezio.
I want to see you try and get the high note.
Welcome new member Robert Downs, presumably immediately unsubscribing. Yeah. And LJ says, after years of Ellen relentlessly talking about it, I finally caved and bought Kingdoms of Amalur. It's so good.
It is. It's very good.
Richie Surt says, I need you both to teach me music. Just replay Ellen playing the trumpet and me singing the Ezio thing. All of music is contained
in those two.
In those few seconds. It's all you know. It's all you need. Yeah. Cool. Okay, Ellen. Well, we've talked about Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes.
But I've got a little mini quiz challenge for you.
Yes.
Do you think you're ready for it?
No.
Correct. Correct, you are not even remotely prepared. You are not prepared. Okay, here we go.
Right, wait, hang on. You told me before this, right, everyone watching.
Yeah.
Luke said you need a notebook. So I've got a notebook and I've got my little IKEA pencil because I miss IKEA.
Oh, it looks like there's a height joke to be made in there.
It's like a
normal pencil in your hands.
for everyone else.
Yeah, it's like that's an IKEA pencil if you say so. Cool. Okay. All right. While you're readying your pencil, Ellen, I'll do a few more comments. Peter Mullen says, I played Final Fantasy VII 23 years ago. I loved it. I've almost platinumed the remake. It's like playing the game that was in my head when I was 11. It is incredible. That is, yeah.
I think that's the thing of like Mike was saying, like having played Final Fantasy the original and then playing this one. It's like this is how you imagined it in your head, and actually Mike said that as well. If anyone has, for those of you who've seen the Half-Life Alex Let's Play that we popped up earlier in the week on Monday, and in that Mike was just like, oh my goodness, this is like how I imagined this world would be. Like, in terms of like, if you go back and play the Half-Life games now, they look very, they look like decent.
Yeah, I think they've held up pretty well.
But in this, like, he was just like, there's a photorealistic bin bag. This is amazing.
The dream.
He just got really. My favourite thing is like, there's all this stuff, and the thing that Mike was so excited about was the bin bags and the fact that you can use the pens to draw on glass and whiteboards. It's.
Well, as long as Mike's having fun, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Exhumed says, can you do sustained notes in Assassin's Creed themes? Is that some trumpet terminology? What's a sustained note? Is it just where you hold it? Like that?
Yeah?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. It's been so long since I've had like an actual music lesson. But yeah, sustained note. It's just a long held, just a note that you sustain.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome new member Stefan Woodhouse. The Lone Sniper Pro says, thank you, Luke. That was worth every cent. Nylon Girl Gaming says, you two are adorable and I love it. Stay awesome. Oh, thanks very much.
Thanks.
Angel Beat says, a photorealistic wizard bin bag.
If only.
If only. Okay, right, Ellen. Are you ready for your challenge?
I'm ready.
Your challenge of the week.
I am ready.
Okay, I've written this out like we do for Show of the Weekend on the Sofa.
Yeah.
Because I miss it. Ellen.
Luke.
Ellen. I love... My favourite thing about the quiz is saying Ellen like that.
My favourite thing is going, Luke.
Yeah. But Ellen. Ellen. Final Fantasy VII retells a beloved story from RPG history. And while there are certainly a few surprises in store, it wouldn't be fair to get into specifics because, of course, it would be too spoilery. But Ellen, I want to talk about a Final Fantasy VII story today. But how? Well, here's how, Ellen. You're going to come up with your own Final Fantasy VII Final Fan-fic-tasy. That's right. It looks better written down. You're going to write some Final Fantasy VII fan fiction for us, Ellen. And you're going to do it with the help of my story dice. Now, these are dice that I will roll to give you elements that you must incorporate into your tale. Okay?
Yeah.
Ellen, your short story must be about Cloud and Aerith, because that is who I am shipping the most in the remake, and must in some way incorporate elements from my story dice. So, Ellen, if you've got a pen and paper to write these down. So I'm using, because I don't have any story dice, I got an app on my phone that is story dice. So can everyone see that? And if I press this, could you hear that?
Yeah.
It rolls the dice. So I'm going to roll them, and I'm going to tell you what's on the dice, okay?
Okay, so there's like symbols then.
There's symbols, that's right. Symbols
rather than numbers.
Rather than numbers, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see them? All right. The dice have been... Oh, that one's fallen. Go on. Physics.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's an umbrella.
So, Ellen, write these down, because you need to work them into your Final Fantasy VII fanfiction.
Okay.
A TV.
Yeah.
Or, like a monitor. You can interpret these loosely. Petrol. There's like a petrol pump icon.
Okay.
A dice. Interesting. What could it mean? Could it be a literal dice? Could it be the concept of gambling? Who knows? An umbrella. A picnic basket. And a business chart. It looks like a kind of... Let me see if I can hold... Can you see that one? It looks...
like a bar graph.
Yeah, a bar... Yeah, sorry, that's the word. A bar graph, yeah. Yeah, business. Oh my gosh.
It's just getting flashbacks to my uni degree.
Okay, now, Ellen, I've just found a new button on this app which lets me add something called mystery dice. So, of those, I'll tell you what, let me on the fly think up let me think up a complicated modifier for this game. Of those 6, choose 3 to keep.
Okay. Well, I'll keep the umbrella.
Cool. Just put a little tick next to them. Yep.
And TV.
Sweet. Okay. I found a different category of dice called mystery dice. So I'm gonna roll these, and you will have to accept these into your story. A stick of dynamite. An alien spaceship. Or just a flying spacecraft. And a crosshair. Or a kind of scope, a kind of target, something like that.
Okay.
Okay. So, have you got those?
Yeah.
Okay, Ellen, I'm going to give you, because I am generous, 5 minutes, or thereabouts, to flesh out the details of your fan fiction. Obviously, you don't have to, write it down, but obviously you'll want to sort of plot out get the main plot straight in your head. And then you're going to tell it to me and the chat in your best storytelling voice.
Oh, great.
And it's going to be a great story. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes. In that time, I'll check in with the chat, so feel free to take your headphones off. Stay on camera, because people want to see the process. But you can ignore the outside world. Closet yourself in your writer's mind palace.
So I'll take off my headphones, and I might make some notes on my laptop.
Yeah.
So you will hear the writer's process. That's what it sounds like.
Yes. That's it. Yeah. That's the sound of genius.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Okay, let's get notes open. Here we go. See you in a bit.
Well, now that Ellen's taken her headphones off, we can safely gossip about her. That's obviously what this was. Oh no! Oh no!
We can safely gossip. I can still kind of hear the headphones.
Okay, fine. PVT Spoon says, "I love the way Ellen pronounces bar graph."
Bar graph.
Bar graph. Yeah. Okay. Jules Loke says, "Clarith OTP forever." Yeah, so this is something that Aoife has talked about as well, like with Final Fantasy 7 Remake. The game generally is so thirsty. Like everyone fancies everyone, and you basically through the story are just kind of introduced to like love interest after love interest. The game absolutely wants you to be like, yeah, the game wants you to be like shipping all of these characters very much. Second Since calls me Luke Generous Westaway. Hard to argue with that. John is in the chat, likes the term business chart. Business chart is a sensible term. Josie Hicks says Jarl bar graph. That's good. Adam Midolinsky says thirsty. Sounds like dehydrated more like. Yeah, I can see it. Raven says Cloud only has eyes for Sephiroth. Yeah, I can. Well, I can't say anything. I can't. Anthony Keller says, saying hello to you from Minnesota. Richie Sort says, #urge to dirge. Nice. Genjita says, now that we know Ellen can play the trumpet, is it possible to get a Scar remix of literally everyone else in the world? I'm just trying to hear that in my head. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Joseph Cruz says, hello from Boston. Congrats on 800k. Oh yeah, of course. We hit 800,000 subscribers. Which was cool. Welcome along, new member Brandon Knowles. Random username for Chris says, if you had a Final Fantasy and had a celebrity follow you on social media, who would you choose? Also, who or what are your biggest inspirations? That's a good question. If I could have one celeb follow me on social media, I would be really self-conscious about it, because I think like the more you're a fan of said celeb, then the more self-conscious you're going to be. Everything you post, you're going to be like, they're going to see this. They're going to see this. Dolly Parton's going to see this. Hypothetically, if it's Dolly Parton. Although, Dolly Parton would be a great choice. Dolly Parton is my choice. What else have we got in the chat? Paul Harry says, get KK Slider to duet with Ellen for the Everyone Else in the World cover. Wow, there's so much like Final Fantasy VII shipping chat. That's my shipping forecast in the chat a lot. Kate Ronald says, do we get a Kingdoms of Amalur stream at 800,000 subscribers? No way. It's going to take more than 800,000 subscribers to get the Kingdoms of Amalur stream. You're going to have to tell your friends and, you know, we need more of a following before that happens. But inevitably it will happen. It will happen. Varin Chatavedi says, just joined. Why is Ellen so quiet? I'll tell you why. Because Ellen is currently writing some Final Fantasy VII fanfiction, which wasn't planned. I said, Ellen, are you ready to do the show? And she said, yes, I'm going to give it 110%. I'm not going to get distracted. And then we got about halfway into the show, and Ellen was just like, Luke, stop what you're doing. I'm going to write some fan fiction now. And I said, please, Ellen, no, this isn't the time. We've got a show to do. I can't hold this show down by myself. But there you go. She didn't listen. She didn't listen. She just fixed me with her steely stare and said, Luke, this fan fiction is happening. Infelixeror says, Luke, did anyone explain to the purple sofa what was going on before you all socially distanced? Is it just sitting there sadly wondering what it did wrong and where did all the people go? Oh, okay, well now I feel incredibly sorry for the purple sofa. We didn't have a chance to explain to it, you know, that's how it went. You know, 1 week we were sat on it, and, you know, we left and sort of patted it and said, we love you, purple sofa, and we'll see you next week. But we just didn't come back. We will, but we didn't. And you're quite right. The purple sofa is going to be real confused by all of this. Doesn't know what's going on. Well, now I'm upset. Kevin Smith says, bravo on pestering / convincing Diana to stay, Luke. Sweaty desperation really had to work for it. Yeah, that was the Animal Crossing stream yesterday. We got Diana to move to Not At All, my island. Diana is a cool deer with a cool voice that I made up on the spot. It took quite a lot of begging. It wasn't dignified. John's in the chat to say the purple sofa messaged me to say it's run out of food. John, when? How long ago? Days, weeks, hours? How long has it been going? I think the purple sofa has like humps like a camel where it stores fat. I mean, it certainly feels quite lumpy when you sit on it. So, yeah, last week, John says, last week it was running out of food. Well, how often do we feed it, John? How often do we defrost some mice and crickets and just push those defrosted mice and crickets under the cushion? Which is how we feed it. Jeremy Rock says the screen makes it look like Ellen is staring at you, judging quietly. Oh. Jan Stenolt says when you get back it's going to just be a bench. Well, this is really taking a turn. Exhume says, Ellen doing Final Fantasy VII fanfiction? Under 18s, go and brush your teeth for 10 minutes. No. It's all going to be, I assume, what Ellen's writing is going to be clean and family friendly. Brandon Knoll says, I need more KK Slider videos, Luke. Yeah, I think we should do another video about music that blew our minds in games, because I would like to pick another KK Slider song. Infel Xra chips in, says money for the purple sofa's emergency care package. Also, sorry for opening up this very dark line of thought. Don't worry about it. I think it's John who said that John who's implying that the sofa is starving to death. John says people have left stuff kindly on the studio doorstep for it, but it can't get down the stairs. But it could probably smell the food, but just not get to it. Oh man, this is bleak. Okay. Well, I think that's enough darkness for now. How are you getting on, Ellen?
Good. I think I'm gone. I think I got it.
You're ready?
Yeah, I think so. Read a couple more things out, and then I can. It's not very long, so don't worry. It's just silly.
Okay. Okay. Nicholas Cross says send wrong Yarny, as in send wrong Yarny with the food for the sofa. Yeah, but wrong Yarny.
You're thinking a care package for the sofa.
I know, but the thing is with wrong Yarny, well, it was pointed out, Ellen, that the sofa doesn't know why we're gone.
No.
Probably thinks we don't love it anymore.
Very confused.
Yeah, hasn't had its frozen mice and locusts. But Jeremy Rock says the green sofa is keeping the purple sofa company, my dudes. Yeah, I'm sure. Or one of the sofas has eaten the other in desperation. But at least then if we get back, we'll know which sofa was stronger.
Yeah.
Purple,
Survival of the fittest. Oh, yeah, purple.
Purple sofa's stronger, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it only has 2 people sitting on it.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, its back is less broken.
It's not had its back weakened, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Not like that green sofa. Sofa cannibalism. Yep, that's where we are now. I read the chat for 5 minutes, and now it's sofa cannibalism.
Amazing. Right, well,
Okay.
I think I'm ready.
Okay, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Ellen's Final Fantasy VII Final Fan-fic-tasy.
Okay.
Okay, wait, Ellen. Let me set the mood.
Right, I've got it. Hang on. I'm going to bring my text over here. So
Okay.
I'm looking a bit more at people.
And I've just brought up some Final Fantasy VII music
All lovely.
from the remake. So,
Okay.
Ellen, so your words will have a lovely music bed under them.
Lovely.
It's story time, folks. Settle in.
Story time.
You're about to be transported to Midgar.
It's like Jack and Nori.
Yes, but
Right.
better.
Cloud was sat inside watching TV. The rain was pouring, and it was the perfect weather to begin binge watching Vampire Diaries.
This is slash fiction now already.
Suddenly, Aerith swung the door open, picnic basket in the crook of her arm, and a huge smile on her face. "Cloud," she said, "it's the perfect weather for lunch in the park." "Nani?" cried Cloud. "It's cloudier than, well, me out there. We'll get soaked."
This worryingly has the cadence of actual fan fiction.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it.
"It's fine, I have an umbrella," said Aerith. "But will that really help?" asked Cloud. "The grass will be all wet, and I don't want to get my perfectly pointed spiky hair all soggy." "Cloud," said Aerith, suddenly urgently. "You need to come out. Now." "Why?" "I want to know what happens to Damon," cried Cloud. "Okay," said Aerith. "I wanted to be gentle about this, but we have intel that you currently have crosshairs pointed right at you. Intelligence told us that you have dynamite under your floor, and we need to get you out of here." "Nani?" cried Cloud again. "There's no time for confusion," Aerith screamed, grabbing Cloud by one of his many, many belts, crashing through the window and into an open bay? Yes, it was a spaceship. Aerith called for the doors to be shut. As they took off, there was a cool explosion as Cloud's place was no more. "Well, I guess you can't Netflix and chill," said Cloud. And they all laughed and lived happily ever after.
Oh, well done, Ellen. Well done, Ellen. Although, you know, for a fan fiction, it went surprisingly chaste there at the end. I was thinking that's when things were really going to kick off. That was amazing. Claps in the chat for Ellen's.
Thank you.
For Ellen's incredible fan fiction. That was great, Ellen, and you incorporated all the elements.
Yeah. The spaceship was the weird, isn't it? I was like, okay, we're going one. I was very tempted to go, and there was a spaceship.
And also, then there was a spaceship. And as the credits rolled, a spaceship was there, and it flew past. Aliens are real.
What a string.
Yeah. Okay, Ellen. That was great. Well done.
Thank you.
That was absolutely magnificent. I also very much enjoyed your storytelling delivery.
Thank you.
But speaking of things that are wonderful, Ellen, are you ready for the final wonderful surprise of the live stream, which is Mike's unboxing?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to watch this together. There's no sound, so Ellen and I will be seeing it for the first time, I think.
Yeah.
So we're going to press play at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, Ellen, count us in.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. I see Mike's hands.
I've got a bit of sound on mine,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm just
Cool.
hearing the nice sound of it's because it's like a matte finish box.
Oh yeah.
Oh, a nice click of the box there
Oh,
as
lovely.
it opens. Oh, now there's going to be like a
here we go.
art book. That
looks like a steel book.
Steel case. Yeah, steel case.
No game, no discs in
No,
there.
there's never a disc in the steelbook version.
I would have thought the collector's edition would come with the game. That's save your money, folks. Don't get ripped off.
Art
book.
I must say, Square Enix are very good at their art books. I've got some good Life is Strange ones.
Oh yeah.
And such.
Oh my gosh! Look at that adorable young Cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the gloves.
Okay, I recognised about one of those weapons, so maybe
Yeah.
they didn't all make the final cut.
Ooh,
Oh, look.
lovely. I love the concept art of places.
Yes.
I think that's my favourite thing.
Yes. The only thing that I don't like about these kind of art books is that like you can't display the art.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I like it when you get art cards sometimes.
Mm.
But saying that, I never put them anywhere.
Ooh,
they all
what's
just
this?
sit in the box.
This is the mini soundtrack.
Ooh, mini soundtrack.
So that, well, I mean, that's way too few. I think the actual soundtrack comes on like 4 CDs.
Yeah.
So this must be a selection of hits.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
nice. Good to have. Ah,
Then
okay, here's the game.
Lovely game.
Oh no, they put polythene on it. So you can't open it. It's a shame.
Aww.
Okay, well, that's nice.
That'll look good. That'll look
features.
great. And... Oh, what's this?
I love how the camera can't focus on. Mike's camera's like, what? You're doing what?
Oh, speed. He's helpfully done a speed up. Lovely.
Oh, good. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What do we got?
Trying to get it. Here we go.
Oh, yes.
Oh, look at him.
Yay, it's a posable Cloud. I mean, I assume it's posable. We'll find out, I suppose. Look at that.
Wow. All the different hands. That's my favourite thing about like those figurines.
Oh yeah, all the different. So you can like pose them, put a lot of different things in its. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
What people aren't hearing is the slight sigh from Mike. Then of like, how do I start?
How do I begin this?
Yes.
Oh, wow, Cloud, you're so articulated.
Yeah.
He's not this articulate in the game. I like that there's now a big joint in his
His toes.
in his. Oh my god!
Whoa!
Why don't more action figures have a
So you can do good toes, naughty toes.
Good toes, naughty toes. Of course. Well, that's a huge bit in the game. Cloud's toes go naughty. And he has to use his limit break. Oh. Ooh.
The wheels actually spin.
We got spinnable wheels. Oh.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, it's like it's like Batman's motorbike.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Very nice.
It looks like it's wearing a VR helmet at the front.
It does, yeah. And there's the big sword. The all-important big
The
sword.
iconic Buster sword.
Which I believe Mike actually has a picture with one of those.
He does, yeah.
And there's a
Come on,
really
Mike.
good one of Aoife with it. Because Aoife is like around my height. A little bit taller.
Yeah.
But seeing fellow tiny person Aoife with this huge... she's just like, yeah. Looks so effortless. So it's just like, I know how heavy that is. Oh, what's he doing? What's Mike doing?
What is Mike doing?
There's
He's put
stand.
a little kick.
Aha.
Okay, good. So now,
Kickstand.
so now the bike stands up.
Now he's gonna put. Oh, I hear clicks. I heard a click.
Sure, that's fine.
God, Mike, what are you doing? Oh, if only people could hear the click. Ah! I just went like.
Is Mike like dislocating his
Yeah.
arms? Oh, look, there we go. He's put Cloud on it. With his hand in the air, as if like it's the end of the Breakfast Club. Yeah.
Or Never-Ending Story.
Yes.
It's a big thing in the 80s. Yeah.
Mike, I don't think that's where the sword is stowed. Doesn't seem safe. Wow.
Woo!
There you go, a little post-Cloud. Yay! The real materia was friendship.
Outside Xtra's in the chat saying Mike is unhinging his jaw to eat the figure.
Oh,
Speeding up.
I thought we were done.
Oh,
Oh no, we're...
This is what quarantine does to you.
Yeah. Do you reckon this is going to be like 20? Amazing. Amazing, Mike. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, God.
Oh my gosh. That was weirdly pleasing. Also, not a spoiler to say that Cloud does do he does pose a bit like that in the game. He does a lot of weird acrobatic flips on motorbikes. Yeah, and then you play the game and you're like, oh, we can't get over this small gap. We need to go around and find a switch to pull. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, I just watched a cutscene where you like cut a train in half. So
Yeah.
like,
Just do that to the door?
yeah, in regular normal combat, you jump 15 times your own body height. So just
But you
jump
can't go
over.
this wall. What?
Yeah. And then I realised that I'm talking at the television again. Well, Ellen, I think that just about brings us to the end of the show. Should we do a little bit more chat before we
Yeah, we need to do a like spike, I believe.
Yeah, we do.
We've got over 2,500 people watching. Hello to all of you.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you so much for watching us being weird on the internet. And I think we should do a like spike for that ridiculous pose that Mike put Cloud in.
Should we try and do it ourselves, Ellen? It was like, I'll try and do it Yay! Final Fantasy. Okay, you did it better, and now I've gone blurry.
Wait. Am I still in?
Outside Xbox in the chat says toe hinge. It's 2020, year of the hinge. It's like the the Chinese year calendar. It's like year of the rat. You know how it goes on a cycle.
Yeah.
It's year of the hinge every 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's finally come round. Yeah.
Specifically, as year of the hinge.
Jay, will you? That wasn't a very good hinge, was it? Too bendy. Too bendy.
Rigid.
That's better. That's better. The human body is full of hinges. Jay Williams says, Ellen, your hair is looking especially good today. I love the blue. Been loving your streams. Luke, your amazing personality and iconic hair always warms my heart. And I adore your Animal Crossing streams.
They are good.
And Jay has written Animal Crossing as like Animal Xing, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Love it. Yeah, I think I've dyed my hair because I can't do anything about my hair cut. So that's my fringe right now, everyone. So
It looks good.
I'm having a
It looks
thing at the
good.
moment. Thanks. Yeah, I think I should just do it like that. This will be me on the D&D stream later, which is the thing we should say if you are around in about an hour's time. We're doing another D&D stream.
Yes.
So right after this, Luke and I are going to be dobbing and Meryl Wenning ourselves up. I believe that there is a link. We can pop a link in the chat right now.
I think so.
To the event. I'm going to do that right now.
I've got Dobbs' ukulele.
There
and
you
he's
go.
not going to be happy when he
there.
realises it's missing.
Where's all my little? I think mine are all behind my green screen, so I can't quite get to them.
So, so the link is in the chat,
Yeah,
courtesy
link's in the
of
chat.
John and Outside Xbox.
Yeah.
So, check that out. Timu Pulkinen says dobbing and Meryl Wenning are real words now.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. It's true and verified forever. Itsari says trumpet outro. I think that's a pretty good idea. When you bear in mind, Ellen, that we had a trumpet. There's like a guitar intro that I worked very hard on. I think the very least you could do is play us out with some trumpet.
Okay.
So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Check the link in the chat for Oxventure, and yeah, click that. You can go wait there now. The page is ready, and we can't wait to see you in an hour. That gives us just enough time to get into costume, and we'll have a lovely time. And yeah, it will be awesome. So yeah, see you in the Oxventure.
Yeah.
Play us out, Ellen.
Let's see if I can remember how to play this. Right.
Hey!